Hello YouTube, if you're back from watching my previous video, we're going to do a league right here. We're going to run right into it. If you don't know what's going on, there is a deck tech and deck philosophy on this build. In my previous video, it's like 50 minutes long. It's so goddamn long. I did not mean it to be that long. It's a lot of nonsense. It's a lot of filler, but I think it's fun, it's valuable. And it does explain how we built this entire deck. Except for the mana base, I just fucking threw this shit together because I don't know what I'm doing. What we are going to do right now is we are going to go through a 5-0 league that I did yesterday. We're going to watch the replays and see how those games went. They're really cool. They're really fun. Here's the list. I'll also find a list of this deck in the description. If you're on Twitch right now, you can go !deck list or deck list. I don't know exactly now. I can't remember. I think it's I believe it's !deck list. Let's just check it. Deck list. That is the list. UWU taxes. The name is great too. You get to put UWU on your deck submission sheet, whatever, when you play in like paper. So let's go right into it. Let's go into our replays. All right. So our 5-0 list here is, I believe, these ones. Here's downfall. Yes, that was our last match. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's start with Ohio marked. Yeah. So spoiler, this list 5-0'd. I mean, no surprise. Look at all those wins. This first game, let's replay game 1. Nice. Okay. Let's get this all set up here. All right, what did we play in this first in this first game, huh? We played against red green mid range. Is this Ponza? Is this called Ponza still? I don't know. You know, it's just like a red green mid range deck, but we lost the Daro, so we have to take the draw. We declare Yorion. All right, so we're against red green mid range. We just had to keep this hand. It's a little iffy. We saw no companion. We're in the blind here, of course. When back when we're actually playing it, and I've decided that I'm going to live off the back of Esper Sentinel. I'm gonna go and fetch a land here, I believe. Yeah, go to my turn. And of course we're on the draw. If this is on the play, I might not keep this hand because we're on the draw. We have a chance to draw a land, which we did, which is good. But we also have Vial and we have Sentinel. Sentinel will hopefully draw us an additional card that will then fuel the rest of this hand. We have Solitudes, we have Apparition, we have Ending. We have a lot of answers here, so I'm not really afraid of getting overwhelmed. I think we had some time here. So I played Hall of Fountain, I shocked that in. We play Esper Sentinel. Oh my god, it's going so fast. Holy shit. This replay software is a little bit janky, But we play Sentinel. We did play Vial here, because we were short on lands, and we have a bunch of 5-drops in hand. Look at all these. We have Double Solitude, Apparition, Ending. So I want to draw some lands. So I figured I want to play Sentinel, knowing that they wouldn't remove it. And then if we don't get a 2-drop next turn, we just play Val next turn anyway, which is fine. I wanted to maximize Sentinel, I wanted to maximize Sentinel's value here. And as you can imagine, Sentinel is best on turn 1 when they have only 1 mana up. So that's why we did Sentinel turn 1. We draw a 3rd land, which is great. So we have access to Skyclave. We have access to Skyclave on curve. However, we are just having a very sad, play Vial, swing in for 1. They bolt it. They pay the 1. And then we just pass to them. Right. They play a land. They play a Scavenging Ooze. Now, coming up here, so we're just going to fetch. I believe we fetch for a tapped Godless Shrine since we have Plutonic Ending in hand. Yeah. Bada bing. We untap. We draw. Taking up the Vial. So at this point, we figured out that we're probably against Ponza. Or red-green mid-range. Where this deck is fucking called anymore. I don't know. If you just call it Ponza because it blew up lands or something. Or it's named after a pizza. I don't know what the... I can't remember what the actual logic was here. But for the deck name. But we draw Urza Saga, which is great because now we have some actual action in our hand. In this deck, Urza Saga does feel like a 3-drop or sometimes a 2-drop. Because you want to be able to just spend your next couple turns making Saga tokens and doing nothing else. But from here, so we're going to play Saga. And now we have an option here. Do we Prismatic Ending this Scavenging Ooze, or do we play Skyclave Apparition? Vote now with your phones. But I'll tell you what I did do, and I would do the same thing again. Is given my opponent's board state, so they have Ooze up. We have one creature in the graveyard. They can eat it, make it a 3/3, whatever. And they have a fetch land. Now we've already seen Bolt. Right. Now we know that they could possibly have another Bolt. So if I play Skyclave, we eat this. They fetch. They get like a stomping ground, and then they Bolt Skyclave. They still have a 2/2. Sure, it's a less good 2/2, but it's still a 2/2, and that doesn't feel good. Or I can ending this, and then just pass. So we still have Skyclave. We still have Skyclave ready. Vial's ticking up. They'll be back to an empty board, and if they have a Bolt, it's still dead. Bolt is still just dead in hand. So we chose to ending here, I believe. Beep boop. Yeah, so he's ending for 2. Just because I figured if they have Bolt, then they just they let us eat this. They Bolt Skyclave, they get a 2/2, and they start hitting us anyway. So I figured that ending was a better use of our mana here as well, since we have the 2 colors, and that if they play a 3 or 4 mana thing, we can still just play Skyclave and kill it. So even though ending was a little less mana efficient, right? We could have tapped out to play Skyclave. All right, so get something around, comes in untapped anyway, and then they cycle a Jekyll ticket. So, they could have had Bolt. And now they play they play Pyromancer. Pyromancer here, that's just fine. Yeah, they discard Chandra and Bolt. See, this is exactly why we did what we did. Because say they kept this hand, say they didn't play Pyromancer, they kept these. Maybe they tap out, they play Chandra. Then we get to Skyclave Chandra, right? We play Plains, right? Skyclave Chandra. Next turn, then they have to untap. Then maybe they Bolt Skyclave. Then we have to pick a Saga token. Then they get a 4/4. But now it's later in the game. Solitude becomes more relevant against a 4/4. But I mean, it's just them discarding Chandra and Bolt confirms that ending was the better play here. Probably because ending can't hit Chandra. So if we had Skyclaved and they had bolted, untapped, played Chandra, and we had Solitude ending, what the fuck are we doing with our lives? We're doomed. It's over. Game's over. That's it. We make some Urza Saga tokens and hope that's enough to just win the game. I don't know. This is not the challenge. I'm sorry, Spider. I'm just a coward. We're going over my 5-0 from yesterday. We 5-0 with this blue-white list. But yeah, no challenge today. We get the Virgin playback button instead of the Chad challenge button. I know. Maybe next time. I've never played in a challenge, so I'm still a little bit intimidated. But one of these days we'll get into a challenge, I think. And then we'll lose horribly, and we'll blame variance. That's what we'll do. I was supposed to be the chosen one. The one to uphold the taxes mantle? I don't know. Maybe that's supposed to be Metcalf or somebody. Maybe Cat Mix. I don't know if I'm the chosen one yet. Someone needs to lead the Yorion taxes helm, huh? All right. So here they play a Bloodbraid Elf. Spider's Darth Vader. Out here trying to corrupt everyone. No. I am your father. All right, so they play Bloodbraid Elf. They spin into Blood Moon. And we're like, well, we're gonna lose Urza Saga. Let's make a dude. We get a 2/2, which actually is bad with our, thanks to our Vial, we have a 2/2 which blocks the Pyromancer and these 2 tokens. But then also looks real awkward with this double Solitude hand and this sad Urza Saga. But on the bright side, I believe they hold back here, hilariously. How are things in Taxes Town? I mean, Fury is still legal in the format, which is not good for us. You know, if you ask some people on the Taxes Discord, they'll tell you that we're well positioned. I think Taxes is right in the middle. You know, we're right back. Taxes feels right back to where it was. You know, back when we were playing like black, white Eldrazi, white Eldrazi, mono white with Resto and Threadbare Inspector. Feels like that. Feels kind of like that. Where, I mean, is the deck tier 1? Definitely not. But is it like tier 4? Also, no. You know, I think Taxes is still a fine deck to play, and it'll reward some mastery. Yeah, back to low tier 2. That kind of. I mean, let's look at the damn MTG Goldfish, huh? Where's our poor deck? We're not even on the front page anymore. Somehow. Where is it? Oh, we're so far down here. Somehow Eldrazi in Taxes is higher than Death in Taxes. Like, where's this E and T list? Let's pulling it up here. Look at that. Sculler, Displacer, Strangler, Thought-Knot Seer. Wait a second. Is this... Where does this list? It's from 2022. This list is ripped straight from, like, 2018. This is a 2017 list. What are they doing here? Sanctum Prelate. Orza Pontiff. Oh my god. Maybe I should be playing this list. This is sick. This actually is legit just black-white Taxes. No Solitudes, Path to Exile, Animal, Caves of Koilos, dude. Holy shit, that's awesome. Woo! And then, of course, yeah, fucking D&T is like on the next row. That's so sad. Oh, man, it's brutal. All right, well, anyway... thankfully, we have our Vial and our Pressure ready since we're only on one white. Unfortunately, blue-white Taxes is a little weird on Blood Moon and mono-white. But, you know, it all works out. We played a Mary Shadow Skyclave. We buy Yorion. And then we pass to them. So, let's go over that for a sec here. So, another play we could have done is immediately Vial this in, play Urza Saga. What does that do? It unlocks our mana, but we still don't have anything to do with it. That's kind of why. You know, so instead of this Emeria, we have Urza Saga in with the Chapter on 1, and we have some land in play. But I have 2 Solitudes in hand and 4 lands in play. I'm a little afraid of a second Blood Moon, and since we have nothing to do, since we have nothing to do with our mana anyway, it's safer to wait for them to make a play over here. I mean, we have a 2/2 Construct holding the fort. We have Skyclave in the Vial. I'd like to Skyclave at the end of their turn, take away Blood Moon, and then untap, play Saga, and then hold up Solitude. Right? Or play Yorion, and we get to re-flicker Skyclave. Both great options. So that's why this turn it seems a little bit slow, where we just play a land and then like buy Yorion and then pass. You know, nothing like happened. You know, because this turn 4, this 4-land hand isn't really doing anything. That's where, you know, going for the big, like, 5-land play next turn. Oof, Thalia Stompy. Man, I remember... Rip Thalia Stompy, dude. That deck was awesome. Actually, so tragic for Thalia Stompy. I bought Chalice of the Voids. I bought the Bonecrusher Giants. I bought the Hazarets. I bought all that shit. During COVID, and then I think I might have played it once against a friend one time during a brief stint where the LGSs were back open again, and then they closed back down, and then Simming got banned, and I was like, well, I guess that one game was pretty fun. So tragic, actually, so sad. All right, well, let's continue this game here. So tragic. All right, so let's play a land. They tap some lands. They play our running 6. Watching my own recap, you know it. Hey, I believe Catmick said one time that he would love to see me commentate. So like, SEG, like, Channel Fireball, one of those events. Well, we're doing it. We're just doing it for my own games because I love tooting my own horn. What can I say? Oh man. Well, they get Red 6. They get back the thicket. So they're gonna start trying to cycle it out. Yeah, dude, I get to watch my glory days. I get to relive the big game. I'm sitting in my apartment. I got a beer and some popcorn. I'm rewatching the big game. All right, so my opponent attacks with just Bloodbraid, which seems weird. You'd think that they want to also attack with Pyromancer, because if Pyromancer dies, they get 2 more 1/1s, right? Pay attention, kids. This is good practice before I professionally retire from Magic, and I just become a wash-up commentator. That's the end goal here. We're just trying to get a name out there for myself, so I'm not just some rando that shows up being like, "Hey, let me commentate some games." But we blocked the construct. I think it's a fine trade. I'm like, "Hey, yeah, I'll trade my 3/2 for my 2/2." The cool uncle. My kid was gonna go pro. My nephew was gonna go pro, dude. If he didn't break his leg. The big accident of 92, he was gonna go pro. Oh yeah, they do nothing. So we end step. We decide to vial in the Skyclave, and now Red and 6 is kind of a big target. But Blood Moon unlocks the rest of our hand as well as Urza's Saga, so that's the bigger target for me here. So yeah, we definitely put in Skyclave. We take the Blood Moon. And now our lands are back in action as well as Urza's Saga. So we're feeling pretty good. Now here, maybe we should have ticked up Vial. Do we tick up Vial? I don't think we do. Do we? Do we leave it on 3? Yeah, we leave it on 3. So I think here we probably should have went up to 4 since we have the double Solitude plus Yorion. We're obviously going to be able to vial in one of these Solitudes at one point. So I think leaving this on 3 might have been a mistake. Maybe I was holding it for another Skyclave apparition or like a Deputy to clean up these tokens. I'm not sure. But I think this should have been up to 4 now. Bit of a mistake on my end here. Alright, so now we play Urza's Saga. We get our thing. Oh, don't worry. The misplay, I don't think costs us the match. We do lose this match, I believe, but not because of that. You'll see in a second. You'll see pretty soon why we lost this match. So we decided to play Yorion. The reason being is that I gotta get rid of this Red and 6, right? This is a bit of iffy. Godless Shrine is exactly for that. Yeah, it's exactly just for the 3rd ending color. I was asked before, I think in person, why I'm not running a Triumph. I could run the Jeskai Triumph, right? Blue, white, and then red for the 3rd color. The reason I'm running Godless Shrine is because our list is so low to the ground, right? We have Vials, we have Givers, we have Vials, we have Esper Sentinels, and then we have a curve that just slides up the scale, and we don't have a lot of instant speed interaction. So what that means is that we don't want our lands coming in tapped. That feels real bad, if we can help it. Because if we have a hand with like, Athalia, Esper Sentinel, Triome, Plains, like Thalia, or did I already say Thalia? What I'm trying to get at is that if we have a 1-drop, 2-drop hand with 2 lands and one of them being Triome, it makes it really awkward. Because now we can either play our 1-drop on curve or play our 2-drop on curve. We can't do both, right? Because the Triumph comes in tapped. Godless Shrine at least always comes in tapped, while still giving us our 3rd color for ending, and that's why we're playing Godless Shrine instead of a Triumph. Also, because we don't have too many blue cards in the main deck, and we have a lot of fetches, so we don't really have to worry about this not being a blue card. This is just like another Plains that is sometimes a black for ending. Honestly, yes. I can buy into that Sacred Foundry might, squeeze out a couple extra percentage points because our opponent could run lands that give us another color, right? If we're playing Sacred Foundry, and then they play Urborg, we essentially have 4 colors now, which is pretty cool. And it has kind of come up in the practice rooms. I put in some mono black deck once, and they played Urborg. And of course, Godless Shrine was just like a stupid Plains. So, yeah, actually, you know, if you're looking to squeeze a couple extra percentage points out, run Sacred Foundry instead of this Godless Shrine. I know that if we look at the list here for a sec... Oh, we can't look at the list here for a sec, Lamau. Let's go to my Twitter. Follow me on Twitter, Lamau. Look at this plug. I did have Cyber Dismember at one point, but it's been cut since then. So this is the list. It's pretty small. All right, it's bigger now. These Marsh Flats could be anything, honestly. I just put 4 Marsh Flats in because they're cheap on MTGO. But put literally any fetch you want in here. It doesn't matter. As long as you these four strands, these other Marsh Flats don't matter as long as they're white fetches. Deck? Oh, I could, you know, but then I wouldn't get free clout on my Twitter. But I did have Cyber Dismember at one point. So maybe, you know, there's an argument. If you're going to run Dismember to running Godless Shrine to, I guess, save you 2 life sometimes. But I do agree that Sacred Foundry is a pretty good tech here. So anyway, we play Yorion. This is a bit of a sketchy play because if they have a removal spell for Skyclave, Yorion does Zilch. It just is a 4/5. But Solitude also doesn't do a whole lot here. We're trying to get rid of Renin 6. This is what we're trying to do. We're trying to flicker Skyclave to kill Renin 6. So while this does get blown out by Lightning Bolt or Bonecrusher Giant, it's still a better line than Solitude. Right? Solitude just does nothing. Leaving up Solitude, I mean, doesn't really do anything. Doesn't answer Ren 6, right? Which is what we're trying to do at all. And it doesn't block Pyromancer any better than my Skyclave or than my like Skyclave does. So it's like, eh. So we go up the Orion line. They cycle Tranquil Thicket, I think. They sure do. I assume looking for the removal spell, but they have 3 cards in hand left, and they don't find it. Bada bing, bada boom. You know, I've liked Chip actually. I've enjoyed Reality Chip. I don't know if it's good yet, but it is fun. It's definitely a fun card, and it's not bad. I will say Chip is not bad, and as long as the cards in my deck are not bad, that's good enough for me. You know, being passable, close enough, baby. Hey. All right, yeah, so we play Yorion. We successfully figure Skyclave. They did not have the removal spell, so now we get to eat Renin 6 for free. It's pretty sweet. They go to combat. They decide to maybe go Pyromancer, then they change their mind. They swing with just the Illusion Token, which clearly this is suspicious. I don't know why they're not swinging with this thing. Like, do they have some sort of blink effect in their deck? Don't they want to, like, I don't know, make 2 more 1/1s? Is that not good enough? But they don't swing with Pyromancer. They just swing with this, which is of course very suspicious. Like, dude, I have a 4/5. Why are I swinging with this 3? So I assume they now out of their 4 cards have drawn Stomp or Bolt or something like that. So I'm gonna like, all right, you know what? We're at 17. I have 2 Solitudes in hand. I have Saga coming up. I have a Giver coming down. I think about it, and I'm like, wait a second, this is a trap. And we decide, nah, dude, I can take 3. But I almost walked into it. Apparently, I thought about it. It slid over there. I was like, wait a second, nah, dude. Fuck it. Let's just take 3. Yeah. And then they play... Right? It's gotta be Stomp, right? And they play Blood Moon, or Second Moon, kills our Saga. So sad. And then the turn ends. We go to us, so now we're stuck again with these 2 Solitudes in our hand that we can't cast. We also cannot Violet in yet because we didn't uptick last turn, which we should have. Yeah, so we're like, well, better get up to 4 now. Like, oh, there's Lion Sash. Not too bad. A lot of permanents in the graveyard. We can start making this big. But we're going to play Giver of Runes because I would like to protect the Lion Sash. Since I anticipate a Stomp or a Bolt here somewhere in their hand, I like to have Giver Runes up and then next turn play Lion Sash and then very slowly with my 1 planes start eating their graveyard and making it a big thing that I can attach to Yorion and start swinging for bullet damage or swing with Solitude, something like that. All right, we swing this with Yorion, so it's totally free. See, the nice thing is that at least protection also gives hexproof. But Stomp does sometimes just blow Giver Runes out of the water. And then they tap 5 mana. Alright, team, can you guess what card they tap for 5 mana for here? In a red-green deck, we have we have 2 creatures that die to 4 damage. So what could they be playing here? Vote now with your phones. I don't think it's going to be a surprise. It's Fury! Hey! The deck that single-handedly killed tags on the face of the planet. It is most definitely a Fury. Not a Glorybringer. So sad. Yeah, and they just clean this up. Yup. They get their 2/2. They swing in now with the whole team. We take a bunch of damage. We go down to 7. If we had Vile on 5 previously, we could have Viled in here, exiled the Fury. So sad. Well, it's Fury. We're like, hey, glad we have Vile on 5 now. And then we get Stoneforge Mystic. We're like, alright, that's a pretty good draw. You know, go and get a Batterskull or a Cauldra. Alright, so we're like, alright, let's jam Stoneforge Mystic. And we're going to go get Batterskull because we're feeling low on life. We have a Yorion in play. We have some more life flickers coming down. We're feeling good. We're feeling like we're in a pretty good spot. We're going to hang back Yorion, though, because we're very scared at 7 life against this huge board they've assembled. I mean, Fury does the Fury thing. You just gotta roll with the Fury punches, so... Now that we're like, alright, so they had Fury. Sounds good. They're gonna get in. They're gonna swing with the whole team. I'm like, holy shit, they're trying to kill us. This is very bad. But they don't know we have Solitude, even though we took a Vow to 5. Like a Chad. So now we get to take a Vow, or we get to put in Solitude, exile Fury, and then block one of these 1/1s for free and gain 3 life, which is pretty sweet. Put in the Solitude, exile the Fury, you get 3 life. Yes, yes, yes. Stoneforge also gets to block a thing. Boop. Oh, we trade off the Solitude. We have the extra one, which is why I think we traded it off here, which is fine. And then we also block here as well. So I figured, like, hey, you know what? If they had the removal spell, they got it. We have Batterskull coming down next turn. We have another Solitude coming in. What's the worst that could happen? Maybe this Yorion block was a bit greedy. I think we were playing on Bolt. Right? Because if they have Bolt, we don't want to die. You don't want to just die to like getting burnt out by Bolts and Bonecrusher Giants and shit. So yeah, I'll block like this. If we blocked here, right, we would have taken 5, healed for 3. So taking 2, down to 5. Double Bolt kills us, or Bolt Bonecrusher kills us. Which is reasonable. So we took a bit of a safe line here. So that we effectively take 0 damage, right? We stay at 7. They tank for a bit, I think, here. Bada bingo, bada bongo. And guess what time it is? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Spider Space, you psychic mofo. They play another Fury. Whoa! And they wipe our board. So sad. Well, now we're feeling real dumb. Now we're feeling real dumb. But at least we got second Solitude, huh, team? At least they got second Solitude. Alright, we got Esper Sentinel. We got Lion Sash. We're like, well, still can't find that 5th land for Batterskull. Feels so bad. So we play the Lion Sash. Esper Sentinel's not really doing anything. So we'd like to... what we would like to do is, Violent Solitude, exile Fury... block the elemental token. They have a 2/2 left. Then we get to equip Sash to Solitude. Eat a thing. Solitude becomes a 4/3, and then maybe get back into this game. You know, maybe we get back into it, huh? So they go attacking. For some reason, I guess I guess they predict the second Solitude here by not attacking with the elemental token. Either that or they don't want to trade this for my Lion Sash, which is wild to me. So they must have just had the read. And are like, yeah, you got it, dude. We definitely have a second Solitude. Get rid of that Fury. And I'm like, well, I think we have to take the 2 here. Because I'm looking to suit up this Solitude with something nice. And then we go Utopia Sprawl. I'm like, okay, sweet. So Utopia Sprawl is good. That's fine. And then they tap 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, it's the 3rd Fury! At this point, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. You have to be kidding me. What the fuck? 3? I'm like, okay. Taxes can barely beat 1 Fury, and you've hardcasted a 3rd Fury, a 3rd one, a 3rd Fury. And look at my nice, supple 3 toughness board here. Oh, boy. So now we're feeling real in trouble. They're into 1 card. I press OK instead of instead of the replay button. They deal 4. They wipe our board again. So we've been furied 3 times now. This is the 3rd Fury, right? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we've been wiped 3 times. They killed Gibrune Skyclave the first time. Then they killed Stoneboard Mystic Yoran the second time, and then Solitude Lightning Slash the 3rd time. So they have 2 for 1 us 3 times in a row, 3 turns in a row. Feels real fucking bad. So now we really need a land here. Our Vial is dead at this point because, I mean, we've already played 1, 2 Solitudes and our Yorions. We have 2 Solitudes left in the deck. We draw a Blast Zone. There's our 5th land finally. So now we get to at least put in the Batterskull. Yeah. Bazinga. We have to block the Fury with our Germ. Otherwise we die. Just die horrible death. We go up to 9. Not bad, not bad, not bad. I'm hoping for a land here so I can go Esper Sentinel, equip Batterskull. Of course, they have Scavenging Ooze now, and they have 1, 2, 3 green available, so it's going to become a 5/5, which is sad. Which is now becomes bigger than our Sentinel Batterskull plan anyway. Opponent is just ripping the good stuff at the top. So we draw a land. We're like, well, we do get to at least play Sentinel and then equip Sentinel. Yeah, bada bing, bada boom. We have a 5/5 life blinker that makes me draw cards sometimes. We pass to them. We have no cards in hand. They have 1 card in hand. They eat our stuff. There's more than enough creatures in the graveyard to make this ooze massive. They play their Pyromancer. They discard a 2nd Scavenging Ooze. They draw 2 cards. They play a land. Now, the awkward part is here is that now we have to block because they have 1, 2, 3, 4 green open. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 supple creatures in our graveyard ready to be nommed on. So this can be a 9/9 or 9/9, which happens to be our life total. So they swing in knowing that we are doomed. They eat a thing. They eat a thing, and they only eat 2 things for some reason. Maybe they have Stomp or something up? No, they have something else. What is it? They have Utopia Sprawl. All right, and now we have literally we have to have like a god draw here. We need like not a lot of our deck is out of this. Honestly, not a lot of our deck is out of this. We can't play Skyfall Apparition. We can't play Deputy of Detention. We can play March of Otherworldly Light. We can play Prismatic Ending, but those cards don't save us. So we get a land, and that is the game. Why is everything supple? You like the word supple? Supple, supple? That's game 1. So we lose game 1. Going to game 2, let's look at what we sideboarded. View sideboard. So we took out the deputies because they have lots of removal, and deputies are only going to do a whole lot against them. We took out 2 Thalias, and we put in, what did we put in? Where's that deck list link? It's in here somewhere. There it is. Let's open the Stream Decker. We put in the Aether Spellbomb. We put in the Forge Tenders. We put in the Pithing Needle. We put in the Dress Downs. That's it. So Dress Down for Fury. Needle for both Ooze and Chandra. Forge Tender for, the red stuff. And Spellbomb is just additional removal. since we're taking out our deputies that feel bad against, Seasoned Pyromancers, Furies, that kind of stuff. Not the best card. We're hoping that Skyfly Apparition, Solitude, March ending will get us there. We play first. We declare Yorion. Do we do this anymore? We have a great opening hand here. So we decide to keep. I mean, if either Spellbomb is gonna save me, hey, I'll bounce a Fury. Don't think I won't do it. Don't think I won't do it. I'll do it. Right? If I need to push through damage, or if I gotta bounce Fury, also you can use Spellbomb to bounce your own thing to save from Fury. Right? If they want to like Fury my Yorion and like, hey, bounce Yorion, that kind of stuff. Again, I believe we play Sentinel first. Oh no, we play Giver first. Right. We play Giver because getting Silver Mystic in seems pretty good. Ooh, yeah, getting stomped when you try to counter the Fury with BFT is pretty sad. That's a pretty sad one. They play a land, they play an Arbor Elf, which is fine. We draw another card. Yeah, we play Stoneforge Mystic. Now that we've successfully gotten our Giver online, Music is safe. Cauldra is here now. And now we get to just hopefully just ride this game off the back of Cauldra. So they sprawl their forest with their Arbor Elf up. We can make a bunch of mana. They chose a red. They sprawl again. I'm like, holy shit, dude, this thing is big. And then they're going to Bolt Giver of Runes. I'm like, sure thing, buddy. Give this thing impression from red. He's like, okay. Wait. And then they can see. Hey, that's all it takes. That's not. There it is. Bada bing, bada boom. I think they fucked up. I think they had maybe Fury in hand or like Stomp or something, and I think they just messed up the order of this. Like they should have Furied first. I give protection, then they bolt. Board is clear. Then the game goes on. But I guess they can't beat Cauldra, huh? I guess they can't beat Cauldra, and that's that game. It was a whole couple seconds, almost couple of minutes. All right, let's go to game 3. So game 2, we just cheesed them. We just cheesed them in game 2. I forgot that happened. Straight up, just all right. Protection on Stoneforge Mystic. And they're like, wait, no, not like this. Turn 2 in, dude. Cactus is busted. For the sideboard, I think with the same sideboard plan. Yeah, no changes. I think we swapped Spellbomb actually for 1 deputy. The lucky deputy. I think we figured like, well, I think I'd rather have deputy than Spellbomb, because at least they have to kill deputy to get their thing back. So sometimes, you get a little impatient with or a little bit unsure about your sideboarding choices, so you just like redo it next game. Can't keep this hand, so sad. We can keep this hand though. And we do. We put back map, because it doesn't really do anything. They play a land, and then they pass, which is great for us. We don't want them playing Sprawl or Arbor Elf. That's all fine. And then we just play Esper Sentinel, get a Plains. Preserve the life total, I guess, Localized to this league, yes. We have Dress Down and Taxes. Isn't that crazy? I mean, we got to deal with Fury somehow, and if it means playing Dress Down, is what we got. So they play Ren 6. They ping off Esper Sentinel, which feels real sad, because now Thalia looks really dumb. But at least we drew a card. We're drawing lots of lands here. So sad. So we're gonna go fetch. We're gonna have an island. We're gonna have a Stoneforge Mystic. So we're doing this because of Blood Moon. We're playing around Blood Moon. Maybe I just start cutting. What if we cut Thalia for counter spells? What if we got Stoneforge Mystic for like Snapcaster Mage? Maybe we cut the Mariners for like Fire and Ice. What if we do that? So we go Stoneforge Mystic, and I think it's gonna die. So we grab sort of Fire and Ice. I'm fearful of a removal spell. So we're just like, well, we'll just grab Sword, I guess. And then they just red and 6, fetch a thing, do nothing. I'm like, sure, sounds good to me. We fetch another basic out for Blood Moon. So there we go. Now we can play our entire deck off of these lands, which is great. We play an Aether Vial off the island, and then we just hold up Sword of Fire and Ice. They do the red and 6 thing. Yep. Yep. They tap their lands, and then they change their mind. They play another land. They tap it all. They play a Bloodbraid Elf. They spin into Blood Moon, which we have successfully played around. Good job, us. I've successfully played around Blood Moon. Team. Alright, so now we get to put in Sword of Fire and Ice. Yep. We take a vial, and now at this point, so we have some options here. Obviously, Giver's going to come out of the vial, which is great. I also have Thalia. Thalia dies for N6. We also want to hit with the Sword of Fire and Ice. You have an untapped Sword Mystic, Sword of Fire and play. So this is one of those scenarios where I believe I do not play a land. I do play a land. I'm terrible. Well, we play a land. Probably shouldn't have played a land there. And I attempt to equip... Or no, we play Thalia. Right. This is why, okay. We played a land. We play Thalia because I want to equip this. Now that Thalia's out, I know that they can't remove Stoneforge Mystic. Right. Unremovable. This lets us equip Sword of Fire and Ice for free. We get to get in for 3. I decided to get rid of Bloodbraid Elf. We get Dress Down as our draw, and then we pass to them. So now they're going to be forced to, I guess, red and 6 ping Thalia. Yep. Boop. Which, you know, is sad. Maybe we should have held Thalia. I don't know. You know, the other option on that last turn was to not play Thalia. We then instead equip Silver Mystic. If they bolt Mystic, then we just do nothing. We just wait. We put in Giverns on the end step, and then on the next turn we get to do things again. I was trying to maximize value off this Sword of Fire and Ice, but there's definitely a couple lines we could have made there. But that happens. We get to put in Giver Runes, Yar, Stoneforge Mystic. If they had the bolt, yeah. Yeah, also reasonable play. You know, and then just hold Thalia for the turn after where we can vial in Thalia, then like equip Thalia if we want. But we took up Aether Vial. Yep. I already know that play Esper Sentinel, yeah. It's pretty free. We get to hold the Dress Down. I already know this is protection from red. So by giving this pro green, we can attack through the ooze. I've decided that I wish to race at this point, I believe. I believe here, I'm like, I would like to race my opponent. You can deal 5 per turn. You can heal 2 off of Scavenging Ooze once until they start killing my other stuff. So I give this pro green. I think I decide to remove pro green with Dress Down. I think Dress Down actually does come up in this game. I believe they play Fury later, but maybe that's a spoiler. So I'm like, you know what? This Ren 6 has done its job. I don't care about Ren 6 anymore. Also because I can't fetch anymore either. This is just a card. You know, either way, it's going to ping Esper Sentinel, which is fine. So I'm like, yeah, we're just going to hit you. Then we're going to slam you with the shock. And then we're just going to pass it off. And then we're going to hold up Dress Down for something. Holding up Dress Down for something. They Scavenging Ooze. They Scavenging Ooze twice. They make a 4/4. Yeah. Then I think they play Fury here. They play Fury. We're like, I think I like having Giver Runes and Sentinel around, you know? Want to move Sword? Because I'm a bad player. Because I'm a bad player, Spire. That's it. You know, we should have moved Sword over, I think. That would have been smart. But they say fuck Dress Down, and then they concede the game. Which seems so wild to me. I don't know why they conceded here. They had 3 cards in hand. They still had Run Out. They had Blood Moon. I mean, sure, we had Sword. We were just going to, like, make them play a 5-mana 3/3, but, like, They still had Scavenging Ooze and a Double Striker. Like, it's not the end of the world. They can ping this. What were we going to draw? Can we draw a card? We can't, Leno. Can't beat a Sword, I guess. Sword's too good, but that's it. So we beat Red-Green mid-range. Go us. Hip, hip, hooray. That's game. That's match 1 against High Marked. Now up against Summon Legend. They were on Hammer Time. This is a fun one. We beat them in a nice clean 2-0. Yeah, we get to go first, which is always good against Hammer. All right, thanks for hanging out, Spider. I'll catch you later. Thanks for stopping by, and good luck on your other brews. I see you're messing around with a lot of Artifact and Urza stuff and the like Indomitable Creativity stuff. Like, damn, the man decided to take off the weighted clothes of taxes, and now he's out here just like punching heads. All right, so we see it there against Luris, and I believe we still have to keep this hand. So I'm like, well, we have Vile, Double Giver, and Double Deputy. So this is a pretty good hand against like a deck that's gonna like try to grind us out, right? That might have a lot of removal. This could easily be Grixis. Yeah, dude, Spider's Rock Lee. Hell yeah. I mean, I don't watch Naruto, but yeah, dude, everyone loves Rock Lee. Alright, so we play Vile, pass to them. They do this. Alright, so I just get to that turn really fast. I forgot that they just like barf their hand. Alright, they have 3 cards left in hand. They go Plains, Springleaf Drum, Ornithopter, Portable Hole, take Vile. And I'm like, whew! Guess I'm against Hammer Time, huh? Guess this is probably Hammer Time, eh? And I'm like, well, there's our 3rd land. That's good. We play a 3rd land. Then we just play Double Giver. Like, I see your 2 Ornithopters, and I raise you 2 Giver of Runes. And that's the turn. And then they fetch. I think they would just put Luris in hand. Which seems so weird to me. Like, turn 2, you're a Hammer player. You decide I put Luris in hand. Is that, like, their hand must be actually terrible, just completely the worst. So they pass back to us. I'm like, okay. I'm like, ooh, that person's pretty good. I can get back Portable Hole, or I can get back my Vile if I want. But the sweet value of Deputy scooping up both these Ornithopters is too good to pass up. So we definitely shock this Hall Fountain, and then we play Deputy, and we scoop up both Ornithopters. And we pass to them. So now they're stuck with 2 mana. Can't play Luris anymore. And a Portable Hole. They choose to play Puresteel Paladin. Then they play a land. And then they choose to play Puresteel Paladin. I'm like, oh, okay, sure. Sounds good. Sounds good. So now this second deputy's looking real fine at this point. I'm like, oh, yeah. That's real nice. I am giddy. I'm like, well, let's just do the same thing again. Let's just Deputy and scoop up both those Puresteel Paladins. Well, let's get in for 1. Yeah, Deputy beats. They play a land. They play Luris. And then I'm like, well, let's get rid of Luris. Scoop up Luris. Hit it for 2. Literally, their turns have been play some stuff. I'm like, 3 mana removal spell. 3 mana removal spell. 3 mana removal spell. At this point, I'm like, well, let's choke their mana a little bit. Yeah, play the Sentinel, play the Thalia, just get the creatures out there. I'm like, I want to finish this game up. Let's get this rolling. They play Alliance Sash. I'm like, sure. Sounds good. They play a Shadow Spear, which they now let us draw off of because they forgot. Or they just, I don't know. Or no, they can tap the Alliance Sash to prevent us from drawing, which I think they do. Do they do that? They do. All right, no more card draw for us, which is fine because now we get to just get in there for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They go down to 10, go down to 5. We get to play an Expedition map for 2 mana, which is silly. Alright, so now they have a couple options here. They get to Lion Sash or Flood Strand to make a 2/2. They can also equip this, then make it a 3/3 with Trample. We get to block 2 of that damage, though. They only get through with 1 damage actually being dealt, thanks to protection. I'm looking 1 life up to 6, which then kills them on board. So they have to play something else. They play Lavinia, which is interesting, which is fun. Main deck Lavinia in your Hammer deck, pretty cool. Is this specifically for like Solitude and Fury? Possibly. I think those cards are very good against Hammer, so this is some interesting tech that they're running over there. And then they equip the Shadow Spear to the Lavinia to make a 3/3 anyway, which does block all of our stuff. So we're gonna just, and then they just pass us. They're on the defense. Hilariously, we've got Hammer on the ropes. They have 1 card left in hand. We find us in Ameria's Call. We're just gonna go searching. We're gonna fetch a land out of our deck. So this is where, so we drew Ameria's Call. If we play this, we'll have 4 mana total. We can then fetch with Expedition map, putting us to 2 mana. Because the deck runs Iganjo, and because we have Thalia in play, this only costs 2 mana. So really, we should have done this mid-combat, since this all could have been done instant speed. But we were too excited, I guess. So we decided to go swinging. We get in with everything but Sentinel, because I think I first Sentinel over their Lion Sash. They block like a fool, and they block there like a fool. And then Iganjo just kills this. They gain no life. Boop, boop. Bye-bye. They take 3 down to 2. They eat Iganjo. Yeah. To save their Lion Sash, which is fine. And that's my turn. I pass to them. And they've seen enough. So I guess they either had a hammer, no way to equip it, or, I mean, any number of things could have happened here. But we just, like, oh my gosh, these 2 deputies were so good. Holy, I love this card. It's actually so gas right now. And then, of course, that, I mean, just going, like, Giver into Deputy Apparition and then just, like, smashing in was pretty legit. So that's game 1. We're going to go to game 2 now. Check out our sideboarding quick. So, our sideboarding plan was, we don't need this math anymore. We don't need no math anymore. So we took out the Mariners, mainly because Hammer doesn't really play interaction. I mean, we saw the portable hole, but like, it's probably not that many in the deck overall. You know, I want to tax their spells with Thalia and Esper Sentinel and whatnot. So Mariner generally doesn't do anything when they're just smashing with like a hammer. So we cut Mariner and we cut 2 Esper Sentinel and we cut a Lion Sash. And we cut sort of Fire and Ice. What did we bring in? We brought in the 2 Thieving Skydivers, the 4 Kataki, Spell Bomb, and Pithing Needle. Those were our take-ins. Kataki, because they're a artifact deck, right? We want to tax our mana and make them sack the artifacts. It's great. Skydiver to steal their hammers. Pretty legit play. And then Needle and Spell Bomb. Needle to stop hammer equips, and Spell Bomb to bounce things that have been equipped already. That's our sideboard plan. I'm going to let them play their turn. They play Urza Saga, Sprungleaf Drum, Ornithopter, Esper Sentinel. Now I'm over here, and we draw a Flood Strand. I don't really want to play Needle right now, since it doesn't really do a whole lot. They still only have like 2 mana available. They could play a 3rd mana, and then Urza Saga. The boy needs some food, huh? Meow. 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 Yeah. Yeah. Look at this yelly boy. Mwah. All right, I'm gonna feed this cat. Be right back. If you're in my shoes, what would you do? Vote now with your phones. All right, the cat has been fed. We're back. I believe here we just play Giver of Runes because Giver and a Stoneward Mystic against Hammer, very, very strong. So let's see if I'm correct, if I remember correctly. If I remember correctamundo, we go get the planes, conserve our life total, we get the Giver of Runes out. Oh my god. Wow, that was, you know, let's replay this game here for a sec. I accidentally skipped through that way too quickly. I pressed the skip through turn button instead of the, like, play next step button. They did a lot of shit there. All right, so they play their stuff. We play Giver of Runes. Bada bing, bada boom. All right, now they do some crazy shit here. Like, oh my god, this man is off, or this person is off the wall. So they draw. They take up Urza Saga. They Springleaf Drum, tap Ornithopter for a white, and then path their own Ornithopter for a land. They are stuck on the one Urza Saga land right here. And they get a Plains tapped. And they play new Ornithopter. And then they pass to us. Damn, they pat the exile their own Ornithopter to get a Plains. Woo! That is crazy. Alright, we draw Thalia. We're like, well, I guess we'll play Blast Zone. And we'll play Thalia. Since I'm like, damn, they are short on mana, so let's you know, squeeze that. Well, let's squeeze that weakness a little bit harder. You know, let's put the pressure on. They make a dude. Their Urza Saga goes away. I still wanted to play Thalia because I knew Urza Saga was going away next turn, so they're gonna be back down to like one land, one Springleaf Drum. They get Pithing Needle, and I'm like, oh shit, I didn't do Giver things. And they Blast Zone hilariously. I'm like, oh okay, sure. Sounds good, buddy. I go Flooded Strand, we go Stoneforge Mystic, we go we get Cauldron Complete. We fetch Hollowed Fountain, we put in Giver Runes. Or no, we put in Giver Runes. I think we misclicked on Pithing Needle there. We're like, whoa, wait a second. I can't cast this. And then we just chill. They play their own Stoneforge Mystic. They get the Reality Chip, which is pretty cool. And then we draw Katagi. And I'm like, I'm thinking, you know, let's do some Sesame Street team. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 artifacts. And now I'm the villain here. I've become the villain. Because, I mean, this is just such a great draw on this board. They have 1 land. They have 5 artifacts in play. They have a Stoneforge Mystic. So now what if we play the evil victory theme music? Which one is it? This one. Dear opponent, your foolish This game is over! I, with my 2 mana, cast Kataki, War's Wage, and then I will pass to you. Behold the triggers! You must pay 5 mana to keep you on board, or you must sacrifice everything! Ha 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 ha! Anyway. And then they concede, and that was it. Hammer time, baby! Alright, we're 2-0. Let's go. Alright, now we're up against Sodek. The man, the legend, the dredge god. Holy shit, Sodek. I rolled into this game. I didn't really look at who I was playing against. We are on the draw, which is not where we want to be against Dredge. And we just had to keep this hand. We're like, yeah, Subvert Mystic, Deputy, like, that's pretty good, right? And then they play Mana Confluence, and I'm like, uh-oh. I'm like, wait a second, what deck plays Mana Confluence? And then I look at the name here, and I'm like, oh no, it's Dredge. It's Dredge. They do nothing. They passed us. I'm like, well, I guess let's play Hengegate Pathway, and then Expedition Map. In response, they Otherworldly Gaze, they dump a Golgari Thug and a Prize Amalgam in the bin. Here I am with 1 land and an Expedition Map. They Dredge over Stinkweed Imp, Dark Blast, and Prize Amalgam. They play a 2nd land. And then they Cathartic Reunion, dumping Golgari Thug and Stinkweed Imp. They dredge Stinkweed Imp. They get a Creeping Chill and a Conflagrate and a Prize Amalgam in the bin. They dredge Stinkweed Imp. So 2 Stinkweed Imp dredges. They get another Creeping Chill. And then they dredge a 3rd Stinkweed Imp. They dredge 3 Stinkweed Imps. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and then we get Creeping Chill 3 times. So we take 9. We take 9. Boop. Beep. Bop. We untap. We draw March Otherworldly Light. Hooray. We go to the main. I'm like, well, I guess we're playing Field of Ruin, and we'll play Stoneforge Mystic, and we'll go and we'll get Batterskull, and hope that's good enough, even though they have Conflagrate in the bin, and they have 2 red mana open. They dredge some more. Dredge Golgari Thug. Spinning over basically nothing. So I'm like, alright, there's still a chance. It's not over yet. It's not over yet, folks. And then it's like, oh, wait. Wait a second. What are they doing right now? Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no! Conflagrate on the Silver Mystic and then on me for 2 more. Uh-oh. And they just pitch all these dredgers in there. And I'm like, oh, boy. So they have no cards in hand left. I'm like, all right. Well. So we play Blast Zone. We make a mistake here. Pay attention. This is a big doo-doo no-no. I know that they have no basics in this deck, so we field the Mana Confluence. We have nothing else to play, really. And we get a Plains. We should have gotten Island here for Deputy, but we got Plains because we wanted to play Giver of Runes. So we play Giver, and then we pass up to Sodek. Sodek mills over the Narcomoeba, or dredges over the Narcomoeba, which then brings back the Prize Amalgams. Hello, hello, hello. And there it is. Now we draw another Field of Ruins. Now if we had blue, we could have scooped these up. Could have scooped these up and then just had a Narcomoeba to deal with, right? Just the Narco. And then we can, always march the Narco, or we get to play Batterskull next turn. So we're like, well, I guess we have to get blue, the Field of Ruin, get an island. And we're like, well, I guess our play here now is to march this Narcomoeba by pitching Ameria's Call, hope to draw another land, and then chump with a Giver of Runes, then hopefully just play Batterskull. But they dredge, they go over Creeping Chill, and we lose the game. So we should have a deputy out. They should have chilled us. They would have had nothing left, and we would have been at 4, and they would have hit us at 3. We would have played Batterskull. They have no chills left. And maybe we would have been able to win this, actually, if they, depending if they milled over another Conflagrate or not. But we did lose Sodek because we fucked up by getting this Plains here. Look at that. One mistake, whole game's over. We were in it. They had no mana. They had just this to survive. We had to literally just Deputy scoop up the Amalgams, and then it would have been game over. But we did not. Right, because even if we chump here and then we march, pitch, Amarius Call, and Deputy to get rid of one of the Amalgams, we still take 4 and die. So sad. So sad. Well, go to game 2. Let's view our sideboarding. It's probably what you would expect. So we took out the March of Otherworldly Lights because they don't really do anything. We took out the Prismatic Endings, they don't really do anything. And we put in the second Lion Sash, the Relic, the Spell, or the Relic, and the 2 Forge Senders. So Forge Senders for Conflagrate, Relic obviously for Graveyard Hate, Sash obviously for Graveyard Hate. We took out the Marches and the Endings. Couldn't really do anything this matchup a whole lot. I don't really want to be marching Prize Amalgam. That feels bad. So we pick Yorion. This hand is not keepable. Do we keep this? I can't remember. I don't think so. I think we mull it. We do keep it. All right, we keep it on the back, actually, of Urza Saga, Aether Vial, Esper Sentinel. Because we figure if we play Saga first, we can at least get Relic. Yeah, that's our... I mean, that's the Hail Mary. It's like, play Urza Saga, turn 3 Relic guaranteed. Unless they kill Saga somehow, right? So we're just like... Bop Saga, put in Aether Vial. They just play City of Brass, which is fine. We get to take up. Yep. Now, if they have Otherworldly Gaze, the one blue card lets you rear into top 4 cards of your deck, or put them in your graveyard. We want to try to take advantage of that. So we play Otawara. We get to play. We put in Esper Sentinel. Bada bing. And then we have to just play the Reality Chip, because, I mean, what else are we doing? It's hey, it blocks a Prized Amalgam for forever. And then they just Dark Blast Esper Sentinel. We at least get to draw a card, which is nice. If we had... See, this is where sometimes Mariner and Saga get a little bit weird. They get a little bit... There's some conflict there where you want to play Saga early, but you also want to play Mariner. You can play a lot of our other cards even with Saga out, but this is one of our few cards this is one of our few 2-drops where it has 2 pips. I think there are only 2-drop with 2 pips in it. That's correct. It's the only one. This happens a lot sometimes. We have to play Saga on turn 2, and then you just can't play Mariner. That turn would have been cool if we could have gone like Mariner and then tap, put in Esper Sentinel, because then they can't Dark Blast us. But they Dark Blast, they Dredge, they do a Prize Amalgam and a Syncreate Imp. They do 3 in Discovery. They discard some cards. They discard 2 Prized Amalgams. And then they Dredge Syncreate Imp. They Dredge Syncreate Imp. They Dredge Syncreate Imp. And by some miracle, they don't hit a Narcomoeba. And all four Narcomoebas are either in Sodek's hand or in the bottom 35 cards. So we get blasted with Creeping Chill, just fine. And then we get our Relic. Tap that for mana. Get the Relic. Ah, yes. Reality Chip shows us Stoneforge on top of our deck, which is cool. And now here, I think I wanted to be mana efficient, right? Yeah. No, we just pop it off to draw. Yeah. So we pop Relic to draw Stoneforge Mystic. We now get to play Hengegate Pathway. We get to put in Mariner to mess up their conflagrates and whatnot. We have successfully nuked an Ox, a Golgari Thug, and 3 prize amalgams. I thought this was a pretty good trade here. Where it's like, okay, they only have 1 prize amalgam left in the deck. So they have to kill us with Creeping Chills, Conflagrate, 4 Narcomoebas, and 1 prize amalgam, and this Ox. And if they run like a second Ox, then that Ox. But we get Mariner down, we have Chip down, we have Deputy coming up, we have Somerset coming off the Vial. But Sodek decides this game is no longer winnable since we deleted a lot of his threat density here with the amalgams, and then calls it a day. Now we go to game 3 here. This is one of the hardest games I've ever played in my entire life. It actually was just, oh my god, it was so hard. It was nutty. It was nutty. But Sodek goes first. Reaches companion. This hand seems reasonable. We have Sword Mystic for Batterskull. We also have Lion Sash, Eat the Graveyard. We have Sentinel for turn 1 play, and we have Deputy to clean up prize amalgams or Narcomoebas. So we keep it. So that goes down to 5 cards, so 4 cards. Stays on 4. Plays Mana Confluence, then pass it to us. We get a Giver of Runes. We fetch the March Flats. We get a Plains to conserve our life total. We play Giver of Runes. It doesn't die to Dark Blast. And it also ensures the Sword Mystic will survive next turn. He plays Thrilling Discovery. Hey, Gadget. We're just going over our 5-0 from yesterday. We're watching the replays here. We're up against Sodek playing Dredge. This is game 3. This is the game. It is so fucking good. This game is wild. So in game 3, he puts 2 Sync Redemption into the bin, which is not what you want to see. Then mills over 2 Creeping Chills and an Narcomoeba for the first Dredge. Mills over another Narcomoeba for the second Dredge. And mills over a third Narcomoeba for the third Dredge. So we're getting blasted for 6, and they're getting 3 1/1s. We can just play this turn. So they heal, but they go to 26. We get down to 13, and they have 3 Narcomoebas, and we're like, oh boy, we have a Plains and a Giver Runes in play. Not what we want to see. Also to note, they mill over Ancient Grudge, which just ruins the Batterskull plan completely. Also, fucks with Lion Sash. So I'm like, well, shit. Guess we draw, but we're going to play Stoneforge anyway. And we're still going to grab Batterskull. Because it's still a good card if we can deal with this Ancient Grudge. So I'm thinking, hey, I've got Lion Sash. If I can get Lion Sash in, I can eat the Ancient, or I can eat the Ancient Grudge. They'll have to cast it on the Sash, and then Batterskull is free to get in. I keep pressing OK. I should be pressing the playback buttons. So in the upkeep, Sodek decides to do the Dark Blast trick, where you Dark Blast, Dredge, and then Dark Blast again to get rid of Giver of Runes. They do not like Giver of Runes. They've decided to remove this card from play. Yeah, Dark Blast again. We give protection from red. And then they just smash with a bunch of Narcomoebas, right? They just deal 3 to us. Pass to us. We draw. So we draw Skyclad Apparition. Not very great, especially since we're missing our double white here. But we do get to play Otawara. And I'm going to hold up Batterskull. I believe it's because I didn't see the Ancient Grudge when playing this game initially. But I think I saw it after this. Alright, they get the 4th Narcomoeba, which is kind of hilarious with Deputy. They move over the 4th Narcomoeba. Or no, we are, on this turn, we're holding up Lion Sash. So I want to put out Lion Sash, force the Ancient Grudge, and then I could put in Batterskull. That's what I was thinking here. They play the 4th Narcomoeba. Go to the end step. Now, what I forgot about here, as we activate Stoneforge Mystic to put in Lion Sash, is that Sodek has put Dark Blast into their hand with this last dredge. They dredge Dark Blast. So we put in Lion Sash, and then Sodek just Dark Blasts it. So, bit of a slip up for me here. Kind of pretty sad. So, so what's good here now is that, all right, so we've gotten through 2 Creeping Chills. They have, Sodek has 2 left in the deck. They have no more Narcomoebas. They've hit 0 Prize Amalgams. From this point on, the Prize Amalgams are dead. They have to get Ox, or if he's still playing the one of Silver Smoke Ghoul. That's the only way to really get the Amalgams out of the graveyard now. Which is kind of hilarious. Also, we get maximum Deputy value here, which is pretty sweet. So we fetch. We get another Plains. I put a Deputy of Detention. Sodek gives me the nice. It says nice, dude. So look at that. Got the full Deputy value. Maximum Deputy value here. We get to scoop up all the Narcomoebas. So now Sodek's clock is gone. No longer hitting us. And then we get to play Esper Sentinel to try and tax their spells. And we should have swung Stoneforge Mystic here. But we did not because we forgot. Probably because we forgot, huh? Probably because we forgot, hey. So then they just Dark Blast Esper Sentinel. Yeah, City Brass. They're down to 21. We're doing it. We untap. We get the Reality Chip. I'm like, well, let's play Reality Chip. Let's play Forge Tender. So now we're going to have some insurance from Conflagrate. They still only... But now they have... since this last dredge, now they have 2 Ancient Grudges in the bin, which is very sad. Now they have double Ancient Grudge. Because my plan here at this point is to try to survive long enough to put in Batterskull and then hold up the 3-mana bounce. Right, if I can hold the bounce, then the initial Ancient Grudge over here, they tried to strike our artifact, we bounce it. And then at least we still have Batterskull. We still died at double Creeping Chill. Now they have the second Ancient Grudge, I'm like, well, fuck. That plan's not going to really work. So now we need 6. We need 8 mana. We need 2 to put it in, and then 6 to bounce it twice. Right, to dodge both Ancient Grudges. Which is pretty sad. So we draw Aether Vial, because we know that from the Reality Chip. I'm like, well, let's equip the Reality Chip onto the Deputy. And Sodek says, nah, dude. He says, I don't think so, buddy. And he Ancient Grudges my Reality Chip, which is fine. And then we just like, well, I guess we're playing Aether Vial. So we still know that on top of our deck is a Solitude. That's a trick that we're going to use later. We're going to come back to that Solitude. I'm like, oh, well, let's get in for 3, I guess. Gotta try to win the game, right? So deck dredges some more. Hits the 3rd Creeping Chill. Mills over another Dark Blast. All right, we're down to 3 now. We're down to 3 now. Not where you want to be. And then they're going to gaze to try to one-shot us here with the last Creeping Chill, hoping it's in the top 3 cards of their deck. Well, is the suspense suspenseful enough? Or have you been suspended? All right, so no Creeping Chills. They're allowed to tap out there specifically because we can't put in Batterskull in the end step. We had tapped out as well, so they're safe. Because it's not putting Batterskull in, it's hitting with Batterskull that feels bad. Or that gets us back in this game. So I decided to buy Yorion. Because I'm thinking, well, if they hit the last Creeping Chill, If they hit the final creeping chill, we can at least Solitude eat one of our, eat like a Burrington or a Stumpboard Mystic to like survive. Right? So because then we go to 1. They also Conflagrate in the bin now, which is sad for us, but Burrington Fortender at least protects us from Conflagrate. They do some dredging. What do they dredge? They dredged Dark Blast. Now they're going to Dark Blast Burrington Fortender to unlock their Conflagrate. They're still just on 2 mana, though, which is good for us. Yeah, Burrington goes to Jesus. We took up to 2. We get a Field of Ruin. And now we're thinking. We're like, fuck. So there's a lot of things going on right now. We die to Conflagrate. We die to the 4th Creeping Chill. We have to somehow survive both of those things. I'm thinking, they have 4 cards in hand, right? They dredge, they're going to go up to 5 cards in hand. If they try to Conflagrate us for the win, we have options. Right, we can play Field of Ruin. Right, but if they also dredge over the last Creeping Chill, that's also bad for us. Because I need to get this from Fortness again, but I also have to somehow beat these stupid, or this last Ancient Grudge. So we decided to do nothing, aside for attacking them for 1. Right, I like keeping Solitude up here. Also, we have the 5 mana to do the put in Batterskull, bounce Batterskull to dodge Ancient Grudge, which I also want to do. So, as typically it is to Field of Ruin, get rid of Mana Confluence, I also don't want to just die to goddamn Creeping Chill. But it's looking pretty bad for us here. Conflagrate pretty much kills us. We don't have our mana to do the thing. They dredge one more time. And they dredge over Ox of Agonis. The last Creeping Chill is in the last 15 cards of their deck. So we're pretty lucky here. But they dredge over Ox of Agonis. I'm thinking, oh shit. They get to like discard their hand and then basically dredge the rest of their deck and kill us with this Ox. That's so sad. So looking pretty bleak for Offbeat Hero here, huh? So Sodek tanks for a bit. They decide to tap their lands. To keep pressing this next thing button because I believe Sodek is like choosing to like discard cards to, and Sodek goes for the Conflagrate plan. I'm gonna deal 5 to you. Taps out, deal 5 to you, win the game. It seems that Offbeat Hero is done for. It seems that we're finished. There's nothing we can do. We've lost the game. There's no way out. Or is there? First! Activate Swordboard Mystic. Haha! Put in Batterskull. Your tapped out opponent, your Ancient Grudge, does nothing against the powers of good. I create a 4/4 lifelink vigilance creature. Ah, but I have not attacked yet. I'm still at 3 life. How will I survive this 5 damage? Well, I now cast Solitude, pitching my Skyclave Apparition. Hiya! I will now Solitude my own Germ token to gain 4 life. This puts me up to 7 total life points. You pointed all 5 damage at me. I go to 2. It seems your plan didn't work this time, Sodek. You have no other plays. 0 cards in hand. We're at 2. 1 Creeping Chill still wins the game, and this Ox of Agonis is sure to get them there. We untap. We tapped this field by mistake. We could have blue the land. That doesn't matter, though. We will now untap our lands. We now have 5 available mana. Take up our Valda 3 because it's good for us. We draw in a Gonjo for reasons that we will never know. This is our chance. This is our one moment. We have to take it. Equip the Batterskull to my Stoneforge Mystic. Attack for 6. That puts my opponent at 4 life points. Haha, now I'm at 7! Even your last creeping chill can't defeat me now! Da 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 da. What now? If you wish to destroy my batter skull, you must use your only available mana to cast Ancient Grudge. Your last creeping chill will not kill me to put me to 4. And this ox taps you out. What will you do? What will you do, Sodek? Sodek taps his City of Brass. He's tapping 2 mana. Could it be? It is! The Ox of Agotas comes into play. This causes my opponent to discard their hand and then draw 3 cards. This also triggers the 3 prize amalgams already in the graveyard to arrive. Hiya. Prize amalgam returns. Sodek discards the Cathartic Union and draws 3 cards. But instead he turns to return Sacred Hymn and Dredge. Then returns Golgari Thrug to Dredge again. And finally Dark Blast to Dredge one more time down to 2 cards in the library. The final Creeping Chill. Literally the 5th card, or the 4th last card in the deck. Impossible. How could such power be? We're down to 4. And now the triggers. Here come the prize amalgams and the Silver Smoke Ghoul. But wait! They're all tapped! They can't block and you're at 5. And I have a 5 damage attacker with lifelink. We will leave about at 3. We draw the land. We don't need this land anymore. Ha ha ha! For your fate has already been sealed. Your mistakes are piling up, and now the game is over. I attack with my 5/6 Vigilant Lifelink Stoneforge Mystic. This will put me up to 9 life points. You are forced to block with your 5/3 Ox, chumping it. Nah, dude. I mean, I've got the music on like keys on my keyboard, but I didn't like plan this. I was like, it's time. Press the button. But this music is pre-ready. Alright. They are forced to show their Ox of Agotas. We go up to 9. Finally, in our second main phase, 2 turns earlier, we brought Yorion the Sky Nova into our hand. Why did we do that? Well, as you see, they have 3 prized amalgams in play. Even with this much power, I would be forced to double block. That would take 6 down to 3, they'd get their 3 Narcomoves back. Also, the Ancient Grudge would surely destroy my Batter Skull, leaving soldiers as a poor 1/2. Now I would have no creatures left, unless... We gotta replay the song again. We're not done. Wait a second, we're not done. There we go, alright, we're not done. Unless we could remove all 3 prize amalgams in one fell sweep. How shall we do it? Aha, that Yorion from 3 turns earlier. Could it be Yorion the Sky Nomad? The power of the 80-card deck is finally being realized. Is that possible? What? Could a 60-card deck do this? We choose to flicker everything on our board. You may have your jellyfish back, opponent. And in return... Ah, the last prize amalgam arrives from the delayed trigger. But it's already too late. It seems that the Deputy of Detention has seen a new target. These 1/1 jellyfish are no longer a priority. Aha! Sodek sees the writing on the wall. The game has come to an end. Our Deputy of Detention would scoop up all 4 prized amalgams with 2 cards left in deck and 3 turns left in hand. They would only have their Narcomoebas. Yet our Yorion still lives. And by grabbing another equipment, we grab Cauldra to win the game! Ha 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 ha. Alright. That was great. Well, that was the sickest Dredge game of my fucking life. Holy shit, that was... I had to, like, leave the room after this game ended. I was like... But, yeah, dude, holy shit. We're gonna scoop up all these program amalgams. They'd have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on board. We'd be able to block this Basilisk's coming back in. They'd have to Ancient Grudge. We'd be able to block like the 3 and then take 4 down to 5, and then they die in the crackback. Ho, ho, ho. Too good. Too good. Damn. That was a game. Well, we're 3-0 here. We are 3-0. We're up against Europe now. For game 4. Oh man, that was so much fun, dude. That was awesome. Sideboard hate. What's that? All I need is the power of 80 cards at my disposal. Nothing is impossible with the power of Yorion. Alright, we lost the die roll. We most definitely lost the die roll. So if you haven't noticed, there's a cat butt here, right? Right there. Wait, no, there. Right there. Whew. Alright, we're up against... What is this deck? We're up against Belcher. Alright, this is a couple of weird games. We're up against Belcher. So, unfortunately, this deck, not great against Belcher, honestly. Like, if we look at the main deck here. The cards that are against Belcher are, like, I guess Stoneforge for, like, kill speed. Thalia's good. Mariner is surprisingly good because it, stops the Belcher target. You know, they have to pay 1. Cloudsteel, if I ever get a chance to equip it, I guess that buys us exactly 1 turn, maybe. Deputy Apparition beat some Belcher draws by eating the Belcher if they don't have the full combo. And everything else is dog shit. Just absolutely terrible. Just the worst. But let's see what happens here. They're on the draw. We're like... I mean, we're in the blind here. We're like, well, Sentinel, ending, Saga. That seems like a reasonable play. You know, turn 1, Sentinel, maybe turn 2, ending, and then turn 3 start making Saga tokens, right? Because we go... Yeah. You know, it's something. They mulligan to 6. They play Spikefield Cave, and I already know that we're doomed. Especially drawing this, I'm like, wow, we're not in good shape here. I'm like, well, we're gonna die in 1 shot anyway, so let's just start shocking in Hollow Fountains, huh? Play the Esper Sentinel. I believe they just play a land here. Yep, they just play Emeria, the Shattered Skyclave, tapped. We're like, well, I mean, I guess Deputy's something. I'm like, well, let's get the pressure going. Here's the Saga. Let's go. Deal all 1 damage with Esper Sentinel. They shock in Shatter Skull the Hammer Pass for reasons unknown. We're like, well, I guess we're gonna do that. I guess we're gonna just tick up Saga. We're gonna just play a land, and then we're gonna hit you for 1 again. Look at this. I got the old 15-turn clock here. Our opponent, Valakut Awakenings. We need to draw a card at least. We need to at least draw a card, huh? Unsettled Mariner is good. I'm like, okay, maybe we're back in it. You know, Mariner helps. Mariner helps. They do some Valakut Awakening things. We pass to them. They just play another Shatter Skull, the Hammer Pass, tapped, which, I mean, is fine. We're like, oh shit, we're not dead? Usually by turn 4, the game's over. Right? Like, we should be at negative 22, 23, maybe negative 30 even or so. We should be in the negatives, that's for sure. Yeah, make the construct. At this point, I want to get Mariner out, because it's like, okay, they obviously have a slow start here, so maybe Mariner buys us a little bit of time. You know, because then if they play, maybe they can't quite combo off with Belcher if they have to pay the 1 more mana to target us. So I'm like, well, let's just tap this for mana because I'm going to be playing this. I don't want to make another Saga token. I'm like, well, let's just get Expedition Map for, you know, another Urza Saga, I suppose. Or even Otawara isn't terrible. You know, we get to bounce the thing if we can get the mana for it. And then we just fetch. I guess we just fetch now. We're like, all right, well, let's just get Saga. No, or no, Field of Ruin. That's right. We have Field of Ruin in this deck. And then we bash for 3. Oh my god. That was a lot. I only wanted to skip through that one turn, but I skipped through 2 turns by accident. They Valakut Awakening again. We discarded Expedition Map. Oh yeah, sorry. They Valakut Awakening on our end step. We drew a card off Sentinel again because this came in tapped. They had 3 mana. And then I think they just passed. Or no, now it's them. We drew the ending off of the Sentinel, and then we had to discard ending. So yeah, sorry, didn't skip a turn. It just a lot of things happened at that end step that I did not realize was going to go down. Just like fucking cards flying everywhere, freaking out. All right, they play Metamorphose. I'm like, sure. I guess I could draw another card. This is where Esper Sentinel, I guess, is bad, right? Because it's not really stopping them from just killing us. And then I believe they go, yeah, they just play Charbelcher. And then they play a land, they play a tapped. And it goes to us, and I'm like, well, 3 mana. They have 5 mana. Second Mariner doesn't do anything. Third Mariner, I guess, does something. But I'm like, well, Deputy, though, this is literally the best Deputy is going to get is right now. Is we have to eat this Charbelcher. Try a Charbelcher. So I play Deputy. They're at like 22 minutes here. I believe they tank for a long time. For some reason, they tank for 3 minutes. And then they play Pouch Negation. And then we lose. Yeah, Pouch Negation, Battered Skull, play land. I'm like, well, I guess I'll attack and discard a card and see if they do it. And I'm like, oh, they do it. And they do pay. And then we lose. And we get blasted down to negative 29. So they had the Pact Negation, which is very sad. But, you know, that's just how it goes. That's just how it goes. All right. Well, we go into game 2 for Belcher. It's not feeling great because if you look at our sideboard, whoo, boy. So our sideboard, we took out the 2 endings because they actually do nothing. You know, technically March can deal with Belcher. We can do March, pitch 2 white cards, kill Belcher. Or even with 3 mana, we can go like March, pitch a white card, exile Belcher, something like that. So we took out our 2 endings. We took out a Solitude and a Lion Sash. What did we put in? We put in the Forge Tenders for Furies, which we figured that they would be bringing in against us. Pithy Needle for obvious reasons, because it, you know, gets the Belcher. And I think that's it. Took out the Reality Chip. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What else did we put in? Didn't put in Skydivers. Didn't put in Katakis. We put in the 2 dress downs as well, again, for Fury Insurance. For the Fury Insurance. All right, we go first at least, which is nice. We get this hand, which doesn't seem good, so we pitch it. This hand at least has a Mariner in it and Stoneforge Mystic. So we pitch a Solitude down to the bottom. And we're just going to play an Aether Vial here. Yep. My opponent goes, tap Greenland. That's fine. We're going to take up. We are not in danger of dying, so we're gonna hide Mariner. We don't want them to play around Mariner yet. And also we want to get Stoneforge Mystic going. We can violin Mariner, of course. But he's got Fury, so he's get Furied. Forge Mystic takes the bullet. We play Giver Runes out of the vial. We tick up. We get the Mariner. We have a dress down now, which is nice. We're gonna tackle our Giver Runes. They have a bunch of mana available. They play Recross the Paths here. They recross the paths. I gotta play here because it's gotta work through all the recross actions. We have Sword Missing on top. All right, so we saw Sword Missing on top, right? Recross the paths, revealed. Where is it? Get this thing on it. Revealed Sword Missing on top. I chose to keep it on top. They revealed, what? I don't know. Something. What, they revealed Turn Timber? Is that how that works? And then they put that card on the bottom of their deck. But now that there's Stoneforge Mystic, and we're not dying this turn, so Mariner's still saving us, We decide to play Dress Down. Right, in their main phase. So we play Dress Down. Dress Down comes in. Dress Down draws the card. We draw Snowboard Mystic. We then go to the end step. We wait for Dress Down to sack itself. And then we Vial in Stoneforge. And then we get another equipment out of our deck. So we get Cloud Silk Kieran. Because, I mean, it's a 3-drop that we can tick up to with Vial. And also, I mean, it has the, like, can't lose the game text. So, I mean, maybe that's worth it. We leave this on 2 because we want to surprise him with Mariner, I believe. Yeah, Mariner is more important than just getting a 3-2 beater right now. And we still want to be able to Stoneforge Mystic because our mana is going to be soaked up by getting this Cauldron to play. So we put in the Cauldron Complete. We bash them for 5. I now want to protect Mariner, so we're not going to swing with Giver Runes. I also want to protect Cauldron in case they, I don't know, have Ending or something. So they reforged the Soul, as we expected. Now, we want this Mariner. We don't want it to go away. So it's like, well, let's put the Mariner in. It's a, you know, it's use it or lose it, huh? They reforge. They draw their 7 cards. We draw our 7 cards. We draw basically a bunch of garbage. They use up their treasure to play Pirate Ritual. And then they Ritual again. I think they're just... And I think at this point they're on autopilot because they have some sort of combo here. They have some sort of weird Pyromancer's Ascension combo. Yeah, Ritual... Reforge the Soul again for the full cost. So we lose our hand again. I'm like, yeah, I guess so. And then they concede. So I'm not a Belcher player. I don't know what happened here, but they just conceded. I don't know if Mariner fucks up their combo. If it targets, maybe it does. Like, they play Pact of the Titan or something. They discarded Pact Negation Goblin Charbelcher for some reason. Is it because... So they had 5, 6, 7 mana, which would have been exactly enough to kill us. But Unsettled Mirror makes it cost 1 more. So they're forced to cast Reforge the Soul again into a new 7. But I don't know what that new 7 does. So, you know, if you're a Belcher player out there, you tell me what they're trying to do. I assume they were trying to spin into the Ascension combo. Maybe this stops that. I mean, we also have Lethal on board, I guess. So this was enough, like 5, 6, 7, 8 Exaxes. So, I mean, I don't know. And then we had the second Mariner in case they try to go for, like, some Belcher shit. But they died, though. And now we're going to play Game 3. I believe Game 3 we did no sideboard changes. Yeah, looks about the same. I believe we got rid of the other Solitude, or we got rid of Solitude, and yeah, we cut we cut 2 more Solitudes and put the endings back in, because it's like, well, ending does get rid of Pyromancer's Ascension. Solitude literally does nothing in this matchup besides be a 3/2, a 5-mana 3/2. So we decided to change up a bit and put the endings back in, take the Solitudes out, and see what happens. Of course, this game is super hilarious. So we were like, oh, Urza Saga, Pithing Needle, Apparition, like, seems good. So I'm like, well. They belong into 5, they belong into 4. They're on the play since you won last game. Right. They belong into 4. They play a tapped land. They play this Song Mad Ruins. We draw some Word Mystic, which is great. I play a Flooded Strand. I play Pithy Needle, and they concede. Ta-da! Look at this. 1 mana win the game. They didn't even let me name Belcher. They just, like, I was like, Plains Pithy Needle. And they're like, all right, fuck it. I'm out. They're like, I'm out, dude. I'm out. That's it. It's over. Belcher, baby. That's Belcher. All right, and then finally we have our last game against Hero's Downfall, which is kind of hilarious that our final boss with our name being Offbeat Hero and their name being Hero's Downfall, you think that this is the like climactic finish. This is it. The villain that we've been working up to this entire time is finally come around. It's finally come to put down, wants me to put down these foolish ambitions, we get to go first. Yeah, we declare Yorion, as is tradition in Canada. Declaring Yorion is a Canadian tradition. We get a salty double vial land hand against a Lurrus of the Dream Den deck. I'm like, wow, this hand is terrible. And I'm like, well, this hand is better. And we decided to keep it. And we pitch the expedition map. Now here, I believe we go Flooded Strand, but I think we should have played a Marius Call in case my opponent's on Thoughtseizes. Because the Marius Call turns off both Seizing Call fucks up Apparition and Mariner. It's a little sad. So I think it would have been smart to like take the 3 here. I mean, we're taking 3 from here anyway, right? All right, we fetch. Yeah, we got Hull Found and we put an Esper Sentinel. So, I mean, we should have just played this. Our opponent plays Hardened Scales, which we now learn that they are on Hardened Scales, which draws a card, which is great. Now, knowing that they're on Hardened Scales, I am aware that Stoneforge Mystic's pretty good against Hardened Scales. As is Cauldron Complete. So we play Blaststone. Also, Blaststone's pretty good against them. So we play Stoneforge. We go fetching. We get Cauldrux. I'm like, well, they don't really have a whole lot of interaction, right? Usually Hardened Scales is like a bunch of Ravagers and shit. So I figured, hey, let's just slam Stoneforge, get Cauldra, try to win the game. They play Boseiju, Lamau, which just laughs in the face of this Cauldra Complete. Or Cauldra laughs in the face of Boseiju, so nice try there, bucko. And they play Walking Ballista as a 2/2, and they immediately just kill Stoneforge Mystic, which is sad. But, it is what it is. And then from here, I'm like, well, I guess we're bolting this in anyway. And then we play Skyclad Apparition, and we eat the Hardened Scales. And then we hit them for 1 again. We have eaten the card that their deck is named after. Then they play this Patchwork Automaton, which is annoying. Whoa. Let's pause here for a sec. Annoying, it's the new Ward 2. Whenever it has an artifact spell, it gets bigger. Which is a pretty cool addition to Hardened Scales. Because with the Hardened Scales out, this is getting 2 counters per artifact spell. And they can just, like, if they want, they can just dump, like, X spells for free. They can just be like, X equals 0 for a bunch of cards. And it's hard to interact with, right? We can't, as much as I would like to, we can't Skyclave this, which is just tragic. Just tragic. So we decide, well, let's play Mariner, I guess. This messes up Ballista math. And let's play Giver Runes. And let's just swing in for 3. And I was like, hey, if they want to trade here, good for us. Hardened Scales doesn't play too many non-creature spells, so we've already got our value off Sentinel drawing off of the Hardened Scales here, so. I doubt it'll be doing much more taxing after that. They play a second one, which is very tragic for us. Make a second big boy. And they play Hammer Walker for 1, which is, something we can, in fact, deal with. We take 3. I considered double blocking here, but I figured that Giver Runes was more important than that. Thing. So we still can interact with these 2 chumps. But we do get Ending. I believe here, yeah, we do just Ending this for 1. Because now I'm thinking, hey, I can take this last one up to 2. I will gladly trade 1 Mariner for these 2 guys, And we get to hold back. We get to save Skyclad Apparition. And I'm also thinking, like, hey, if you want to trade here, that's great. You can have a 1/1. I'd gladly trade these off since we're going to kill it off anyway. And of course they don't want to trade them off because they want to play more artifacts and get bigger, right? These aren't just 2/2s, or this isn't going to be a 2/2 for long. So they don't want to just like cash it in on this Skyclad Apparition. That seems foolish and silly. It seems foolish and silly. And then they play Walking Ballista. For 2. X equals 2. The automatons get bigger. Yep. They go swinging. Now, because of our Mariner, we're super safe, right? They cannot ping with Ballista, and they're tapped out. So we're just free to just like put Sentinel here, give protection from colorless, take 3. Go to 7. We're both getting pretty low life total here. Yeah, give pro colorless. But we are in an awkward spot now because I still want to take this up to 2 to kill these 2 things. But then if Mara gets killed, this Walk Ballista is unlocked and they can start clearing the board. So we still take up Blast into 2, but next turn we play Skyclave Apparition. Yeah, we just play Skyclave plus a second Sentinel. All right, we just go Skyclave, eat Ballista. It gets no value. They try to ping here, I think, by like a reflex. They're like, aha, ping. Ping you, I guess. And it's like, no, dude. Try again. Maybe they ping it. Maybe they waste their pings to put it in the graveyard for Lurrus. No, they just let that one go. I mean, if you're gonna commit to the pinging, I think it's better to ping it off, because then at least if you buy and play Lurrus, you have a second Ballista in the bin. Hey. Then we play another Esper Sentinel, and then we get to go in. We get to attack for a bunch. Attack for 5. They go down to 5. Our opponent gets tilted. Here's some salt for the chat. 80 cards, but you draw 2 ofs. Interesting. Right, because I drew 2 Skyclaves, 2 Sentinels. Even though drawing the second Sentinel is not, like, good. Like, it's a chumper, but it's not, like, great. Right. So now they're in a weird spot because I have the Blast on ready to clear these things. And if they swing in, we're just going to like block, give protection. I don't care if the Sentinel. I'll just throw it away. They're going to Ancient Stirrings. They're going to let us draw a card. They'll let us draw a second card, I think. Yeah, they just let us draw 2. Look how good this card is. Even if this Metro Board's not that good, like, it's pretty good. They cast the Ozolith, which makes these things bigger. They play as a Boz, a Zabiz, Zabiz. And now we know we're safe, because they have 1 mana up and we have a Mariner in play. So no removal spell gets them out of this, unless they have... and because they have 1 card in hand, it can't be Solitude. Can't be Solitude. They mistakenly try to go for the kill here. And I'm like, dude. I'm just going to like throw this under the bus and make this protection from colorless. You know, I'm just going to go pro colorless. Yeah. And then they concede. Because then this will die. We'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 damage coming in. They can block 2 of it. They take 5, lose the game. And because they only have 1 card in hand and we have Mariner, they cannot remove any of our creatures. Unless they, I don't know, play Force of Settle the Wreckage or something. It doesn't target. Or I think Settle still targets us. So, and I mean, they have 1 card in hand. They need some sort of, they need a 1 mana, or no, they literally need 0 mana, or 1 mana, exile all opponent's creatures. Does that card exist? I don't think it does. Now we go to game 2. Game 2 is super cool. I'm excited for this game, actually. There is a legit play that I am ready to share, and it's just, it's so good. It's so good. All right, so I go first. We get Yorion, yes, yes, yes. This seems like a fine hand. We have Vile, we have Saga, we have Mariner. Cloud Seal is a fine 3/2 flyer. They also keep 7 in hand. They play Esper Sentinel. And I'm like, you know what, fuck it. Let's just let them draw their card. Who cares? Now that we drew second Mariner here, we have so many 2-drops. So I'm like, this Vile's going to be so valuable, especially with Urza Saga coming up here. Hardened Scales. Also, looks like they're short on lands now, which is pretty sweet. Oh, what's our sideboard plan? Sorry, let's go over our sideboard plan. We took out Thalia. We took out Esper Sentinel. We took out the second Lion Sash. We put in Dress Down because they have a lot of when this this enters with like X counters kind of thing. Dress Down stops all of that, which is sweet. We put in Pithy Needle for like Ravager, which is great. We put in Kataki because I mean artifact deck, Kataki dude, and we put in Skydiver because it steals our shit. It's great. We took out the Thalias because again they don't have a lot of non-creature spells. Basically, I just have this. I mean, we saw Ancient Stirrings too, but like, it feels silly when they're on one land here for us to like have that in like sideboard. But I mean, you win some, you lose some. And then we took out the Esper Sentinels for the same reason as Thalia, also because we're bringing Katakis, and this reduces our artifact count, so that Kataki hits them more than it hits us. All right. Anyways, they attacked us for 1. We're at 19. We draw Sky Collaboration. We play Hall of Fountain, shock it in. We're going to play around that same trick of like walking Ballista for 2 or whatever. So we're just going to play Mariner. And then we're going to pass to them. So they did draw their second land, and they drew Hardened Scales, and then they're going to play a 3/3 Zabaz, which is pretty good. So we're like, well, I don't like Zabaz. And it's a perfect time to play a Sky Collaboration to just eat that 3/3. But also play Urza Saga. Boop, boop, boop. Apparition takes a Boz. They already have 2 Hardened Scales out, so like whatever. Since we know that their hand was heavy on like utility tools, we want to take out their threats, right? Because I mean, this board is not menacing at all, right? A Hardened Scales as a Boz and Esper Sentinel is a bit more menacing, and plus they have 2. So I mean, sure, it does hurt them by taking one of these. It hurts them more by taking Zabaz. At least it's a 3/3. And we have to get in for 2 here. And we can still block Esper Sentinel with the Sky Collaboration. And now we're in the Vial. We're holding Sentinel and Mystic in case they try anything with like Walking Ballista. Because I mean, they can Walking Ballista for like 3 here. But they play Arcbound Ravager. And now we're safe to put in Snowboard Mystic because they have 1 mana up. So unless they have Solitude, they can't pay for Mariner. And I don't think this deck would run Solitude anyway. So now we get to do this. We get to go, yeah. We get to go and get Calder Complete, which feels great. I think we decided to leave this on 2. No, we do. We do tick up to 3. Right, we took up to 3 because this turn since we're playing Silver Mystic, we're not making a Saga token. So we might as well put in Caldra and just play Mariner and then hold Kieran in the Vial, you know? Need some more food, buddy? Alright, let's feed the cat again. The cat has been fed. Ugh. And so we play a land. We play Mariner just to make sure. I mean, if they have like a Solitude, then at least second Mariner stops that. And then we play Calder Complete. And we get in with Calder Complete. Yeah. So now, again, we're on the race plan. I'm like, I want to race them. Also, this is going to come off and hopefully grab us Pithy Needle to shut down this Ravager. So it'll force them to cash in now. They play Inkmoth Nexus. And they play a second Ravager. So now, Urza Saga is looking real good now. Then they play Hangback Walker for 3, which is pretty good. So now we're worried about Ravager on Walker. I mean, how many is this? This is so many Thopters. Like, holy shit. We put in Cloud Silk here, by the way. Yeah. Bada-bing, bada-boom. It's free real estate. All right. So I don't know what the math is here. But if they eat Esper Sentinel with Ravager, this becomes a 6/6. And then they eat this Ravager. This becomes a 9/9 plus the 3 or plus the 4 here to be 13. And then sack it to itself. Puts 14 on here. No, puts maybe 15 on here. So there's 18 Hangerback Walker tokens. Dude, that's so many tokens. Holy shit. We should have lost. I mean, we should have lost. I mean, we do lose this game, but we should have lost it differently. So let's untap. We do not take a vial because we draw Deputy of Detention, which is very good against this Hangerback Walker strat. We just draw land, which is Sadness. I decide, well, we're not doing anything else this turn, so let's just play Saga, because, or let's just make a construct token. And then they just let Saga resolve. They just let the search resolve. They do nothing over here. I am now free to go Pithing Needle. Naming Arcbound Ravager. I'm like, alright, sure, sweet. Sounds good. Sounds great. And I decided to go Germ Token, Cloud Silk for 8 damage. I think they just take it. Our 5/5 Construct. Not too bad for a non-artifact deck, right? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's pretty good. Pass to them, they get a land, or they play a land. They tap a bunch of mana. They get a Walking Ballista. Thankfully, Mariner just messes up Walking Ballista. They have a 4/4 Ballista, which I mean, pretty good. But they got to pay 2 mana per Ballista ping, which is not good. It's kind of amazing how much worse Walking Ballista gets when you have to pay for each one, right? If this wasn't free, dude, this is just a terrible card. If you have to pay 1, like pay 1, remove a counter. Ugh. Yeesh. The fact that it's just like free, and this making it cost 2, so good. So good. So we get to untap. They're at 5. We tick up. Yep. And they have 1 mana open, no cards in hand. We draw Expedition Map. And now we're trying to think. All right. Can we kill them? They're at 5. We have a huge board. They've got some big dudes as well. We have 3 unblockable damage. So again, 3 for sure. They can't stop that, right? They can't kill us. There is no way for them to kill us Hangerback Walker. Actually, technically there is. They can use their Ballista to ping off their Walker, which is pretty cool. I just fed you, dude. I just fed you. Why don't you come with me and look at this game we're having? Look. Oh, a cat now. Oh, yes. Magic the Gathering. I just fed you, dude. I'll come pay attention to you after this, maybe. But, yeah. So we're trying to figure out if we can kill them. So we swing with Castle Kieran. We swing with the Cauldra Complete. They have to block Cauldra with some amount of damage, right? Because Cauldra just kills them. So they have to block here. They have to block here. If they have to block here, this also has to be double blocked. I'm interested in that. This is also an interesting line for me. I'm like, I'd like this to be double blocked as well. That sounds nice. All these other cards get eaten up, so I think it's not worth it to swing all out. So instead of swinging with just these, because I'm like, all right, I'm trying to figure out in my brain. I'm like, all right, how do they block? They block this and this and here and that and this and here and this and that. What's the play? Yeah, because they could have a line I did not see, actually, which is kind of funny. Because we're at 17 too. We're at a pretty cushy life total. A line I did not see is they can Walking Ballista their own, or they can activate Hangback Walker, put 3 more counters on it, make it a 6/6. And then they can't ping it off anymore. So they can at most ping this off to make this or to make three Thopters to block my Classical Kieran. But we go to combat. I'm like, well, let's do this. Should have played this pre-combat to make this bigger, but it doesn't matter. It gets chumped anyway. So we go begin combat. I do a big think about what to swing with. We swing with this. We swing with this. We swing with this. We force the attack. Or we force some blocks here. They have to block this thing. They have to block this thing with more than one thing. And they probably have to block this thing. And they probably can't block this thing, I mean. So they need to somehow mitigate 3 damage from here. And they have to chump this somehow. So we go to blocks. Our opponent blocks like this. Our opponent blocks like this. Our opponent blocks like this. This is blocks. So here's a line I did not think to see. So I have to order the blockers. I put External first and the Ravager second. This is important. We'll see in a second here. This is some... I don't want to toot my own horn, but man, this is big brain. So order the blockers. These are now the blocks. They are established. They are taking 3. They are taking 1 from here. They're going to go down to 1. This puts them at 1. They decide... So I'm like, okay, sounds good. All right, so I know that modular is still a thing. This thing still has 3 modular. I'm also still worried about this Walking Ballista. Because if they can ping these off, then all of a sudden this Walking Ballista gets out of control. I don't think I can deal, because this thing is also going to die getting given modular. I'm trying to work on Walking Ballista here. I'm trying to think, like, fuck, how do we beat Walking Ballista? This is a pretty big card, because once these Mariners are gone, my whole board becomes unraveled, and Walking Ballista takes over the game. Right? I mean, 4 mana, put 3 counters on this, wins the game every turn, right, with the Hardened Scales. So I have to assign damage with my Germ token now, because it has Trample. When it comes to trample damage, and when dealing trample damage and assigning trample damage, trample is just you may deal excess damage to like the next creature or to your opponent. So in this case, you know, generally speaking, it will deal 1 here, 3 here, and then 1 to them. Kills this, 1 to you. However, killing this activates modular, right? Now, if I choose not to utilize the full trample damage, I can pile damage on this Esper Sentinel all I want. You know, you are totally allowed, right? If they just blocked with Sentinel, you are totally allowed to pile 5 damage onto this and deal no damage to them if you want. If you really want to. So what we did here is we dealt 3 damage to Sentinel and then 1 damage to the Ravager. Which was incorrect because I could have Walking Ballisted it, but I mean, this is a very complex board state actually. This is kind of wild how many weird ballista lines are when it comes to like them shooting their own guy. But I intentionally dealt less damage needed to kill the Ravager so that it would survive. And this is why. Boop! There we go. So Esper Sentinel takes 3 damage, Ravager takes 4 damage. We have triggers on we have two of these Cauldron triggers on the stack to exile something. Or exile creature that was dealt damage by it. Sentinel's already dead, so that trigger fizzles. But because we dealt less lethal damage to the Ravager, it's going to get exiled. And then the modular doesn't go off. I believe at this point, our opponent activates Inkmoth Nexus. I was like, oh shit, I didn't think of this. Inkmoth Nexus. But because I was already trying to out big brain them, There you go. The Germ, Exiles, Arcbound Ravager, no modular. Inkmon next is still a 1/1, right? Because now this Construct Tome is going to kill this Ravager. And then this is what they're trying to do with both Ravagers, right? So this modular is going to go. He's going to put on the Nexus. It becomes a 7/7, I think. No, a 6/6 maybe. Becomes a 6/6. Right, this should have been like another 5, I guess. So it should have been a 11/11. But because we specifically chose not to kill the Ravager, the Exile Clause got him. And this only would have worked because they double blocked. Right. I mean, if they didn't double block, they would have lost the game. But because they're a force double block, I was allowed to pound damage on Sentinel to kill it straight to the yard, and then deal the small amount of damage onto the Ravager to exile it. Sorry, this Ravager. To exile it instead of killing it, preventing the modular, keeping the Inkmon Nexus small. All right, now they're at 2. They have a 6/6 Nexus, which we don't care about. They have some damage, which we don't care about. We play this map post-combat because we're silly. We mess up here because earlier in this turn we played this Hengegate pathway. Shouldn't have done that. What we should have done is kept Hengegate in hand. Use Expedition Map to fetch. Actually, no. We were. Sure. I mean, we should have fetched Field of Ruin, but we didn't, to try to deal with Inkbot Nexus. But we wouldn't have the mana. We wouldn't have had the mana anyway, because we would have had a 1 and then 2, 3, and then we would have 2 mana just to do that line. But anyway, we're looking pretty good. And then our opponent draws a second Ravager, or draws the third Ravager, animates the Nexus, shoots their own Ravager with their own Walking Ballista. Very good. Trigger the modular onto the Nexus. 11/11. Lose the game. Oh, it was so close. I was so sad here. I was like, wow, that is just the worst. That is just the worst. But I mean, we played our outs. Maybe we shouldn't have swung with Cloudsteel. But you know, I just somehow forced them into like doing some suboptimal blocks there. Otherwise, we were just gonna lose. Maybe we should have swung out. Hard to say if we would have won this game if we played that last combat step differently. But at least it was very educational when it comes to trample damage, Ravager, and Color Complete. All right, last game. This was it. Game 3 for the 5-0. We're on the play. Feels good. Feels good. We get this hand. It's full of removal, and it's got Stoneforge Mystic. So I'm liking it. We play Marsh Flats, and we were hoping that maybe they play Urza Saga, then we get to march it, which is fun. So then we get to fetch. We go and get the Godless Shrine. So we already have Hallowed Fountain in our hand. Deputy is nice. Pickup. We play Hallowed Fountain. We get Stoneforge Mystic out. So now from here, they need very specific hate to get rid of Stoneforge Mystic, right? They need like Prismatic Ending or something. They can't do the Walking Ballista trick. Or they need Path to Exile or something, right? So I'm like, all right, let's try to get Cauldron. Let's try getting Cauldron here. They play Urza Saga, which is pretty good for us. And then they play Torpor Orb. And I'm like, well, that's weird. So what I should have done last turn is Solitude, which Mayor's Call, Solitude, which Deputy, and then we get to march this Urza Saga. But, I mean, maybe it's not what we should have done, it's what we could have done. It's what we could have done. Wow, it is so bright. It's getting bright in here, eh? The camera's getting overexposed. The sun is so vibrant. Whew. All right. But I did like having this land here so that we can do this. So we go Amerishire Skyclave. We shock that in. We we march for 0. Get rid of Urza Saga. You know, because I'm like, maybe I can use this Torpor up to my advantage now, actually. Because I already have Silver Mystic. I already have Caldera. Do I care about this Torpor up now? We put in Caldera. We hit him for 5. Boop, boop, doo, doo, doo. Shamona. They play Inkmoth Nexus. They play one of these stupid things. And it's like, well, time to win this game. Time to get this over with. Time to put them in a position where they couldn't possibly beat us. So we just dump a 3-2, and then we dump a 3-2. And now we have a good 11-12 power on board that I'm going to swing with. Hit him for 12. Put him down to 3. They have 2 lands in play. Draw a land. Play a land. You know, let's buy Yorion. Nothing else to do, huh? And that's it. And we get this weird comment that says red ceilings are in these days, which I'm not sure what that means, but I'm told that maybe it's some sort of art thing. That it's like impossible to reproduce or something. It's like some sort of smart thing. I don't know. But that's it. That's our 5-0 league, and that cinches the 5-0 for us. I thought this league was super cool. Oh man, awesome, awesome. Let's go over the deck. I can close this. Well, here's the deck. Bada bing, bada boom. Land base. I'm not knowledgeable enough to know what to change, so we're not going to change it. We're going to leave it. We're going to leave it here. The rest of the deck, I think, is pretty locked down. Of course, the sideboard can always change based on the meta. I've been seeing a lot of artifact stuff, so I'm bringing a lot of artifact hate. But I do like the Relic, Pith Needle, Spell Bomb. Maybe these can fit in the main board somewhere by kind of something. I don't know. Maybe Reality Chip isn't that great. We don't really see it shine this league, I don't think. Maybe Map is too cute, although I do like Map with like Blast Zone, Iganjo, Otawara, Urza Saga, Field of Ruin. One thing I do want to change is I believe I want to cut Sword of Fire and Ice. Sword of Fire and Ice was good in that one game against Red-Green. But I don't hate the idea of... Let's scroll all the way up here. Where are you? I like the idea of Maul the Skyplates here instead. You know, so like I said, I mentioned this in my deck breakdown in the if you're on YouTube, the previous video. If you're on Twitch, I don't know, about like 3 hours ago or something. Or no, 2 hours ago? 2 hours ago? It's right in my deck breakdown where the reality chip is kind of filling in the spot for like the slow grinding games. You know, you equip this and start playing stuff off the top of your deck instead of just like attacking in if it connects, draw a card. You know, that's not always useful. This requires no attacking, no connecting. You do have to pay the 3 mana to get it going, but once you do, then you can, in theory, draw cards off the top of your deck, which is pretty fun, which is pretty cool. And that's the list. That is the list. For watching on YouTube, thanks for checking this out. I know it's not you know, my usual kind of video. I don't normally go through my old replays, but both that game against Sodek and that Hard Scales game had some really cool lines, and I really liked them. So I just wanted to make sure that those got showcased. You know, got shown the cool trample, deal less damage. You know, deal extra damage to the first blocker, less damage to the second one. Exile it. Super good. Specifically, Maul over Sword. Like I just said, Sword kind of fills that like mid-rangey grindy plan, which the chip is already doing. And I like Maul because the number of flyers we have in our deck is this. A weakness of this deck, because we've decided to pack so much removal and cut Flicker Wisp, is we don't have any flyers. We have this. Classical Karen is the only flyer we have, and sometimes we have other things flyers. At least Maul, now we have 2 flyers we can tutor up. This also buffs things. It auto-equips, gives it flying, gives it first strike. I think this should hopefully fill in the gaps of our absent flyer plan here. Sorry, you can't see out the window? The cat must see out the window. We will be overexposed. What if I turn off my ring light here? Is that better? Worse? I don't know. You know, I think it's a little bit better. Maybe. Ooh, it's so overexposed. But Maul at least gives us a second flyer that auto-equips. Cloud Kieran is just a 3-2 that comes in as a flyer, and then for 5 mana it can give something flying. But I don't mind Maul the Skyclaves here, you know. Even giving Reality Ship, making this like a 2/6 flyer, fine. 4/4, 3/5 is great. Making this a 5/4 is great. You know, sometimes you want color to actually be unblockable, so making this a 7/7 flyer is not bad. So I'm going to try Maul. I think that's a pretty good replacement for Sword here if you're playing Chip. If you're not playing Chip in your Taxes deck, you should probably still be playing Sword, because there's not really many other options in this same kind of equip a thing and then start drawing cards effect. Whew. That's the list. I think we saw a lot of action from, like, you know, Kataki. We didn't see Skydiver do a whole lot. We saw Dress Down do some work. So Pithing will do some work. Relic did some work. Fortune did some work. I mean, a lot of this deck just does work. It just does the good shit. This wraps up the YouTube portion of the stream. If you like this video, you know, you can like, comment, subscribe, all that nonsense. You know, if you're on Twitch, if it's your first time here and not following, you want to follow, you know, that's always great. Always greatly appreciated. You know, follows. We don't do subs here. I don't take your money. We don't do money here. I'll just take your follows and your subscriptions, and that's it. That's it. You know. Yeah. So, you know, we have my stupid sign off thing where it's like, you know, follow me, but more importantly, follow your dreams. You know, this is my dream. I followed it. We got a 5-0 with this crazy ass 80 card blue white abomination. You know, it works out sometimes. I'm glad that blue white is actually working out. I would say that this is a functional blue white list, actually. Very good. Yeah, if you're on YouTube, catch you next time. Bye bye.